guys. This is the ASMR Nerd, and today I'm going to be doing another Overwatch map wander, and today I'm going to be looking at the Hanamura map, the winter variant specifically. So, as I mentioned in my last video, Blizzard has dressed up a couple of the standard maps to be more seasonally themed, and last time I wandered through King's Row, which was very Christmassy indeed. Today's wander through Hanamura is a little bit less Christmassy. It is set in Japan, but it is still quite wintry once we get out of the spawn point here. So we begin in the spawn for the attacking team, and as you can see, it is set in an arcade, which is one of my favorite places in this game because it is chock-a-block full of these awesome fake arcade games. Like this guy here. This is so good. The Lost Vikings 6. And you may know The Lost Vikings was one of Blizzard's very first games that they put out. You play as 3 Vikings, which each have different abilities. It's sort of a side-scrolling platformer thing, but they have different mobility options and things like that. And you have to sort of swap between them to move through the levels. It doesn't look anything like what they've got going on here, but I just like the reference in the name. We've got Soulstone Demon Slayer, which the text looks kind of like Street Fighter, but Soulstone makes me think of the Power Stone series, which was a series of fighting games. I played it on the Dreamcast, but there might have been other entries. I'm not sure. Siege Mode 3, Super Siege Mode 3, which is a reference to StarCraft. It's like a marine and a siege tank. Some kind of side-scroller. Anyway, I just love the creativity that's gone into making all these silly little fake games in this arcade. This looks like a Murloc, maybe, advertising drinks. And of course, this is the Pakimari, which I mentioned in the last video as well. This sort of like, I guess it's a space alien because it says UFO up there, but they're like these sort of super happy tentacle turnip things. I don't know how else to describe them. They're super cute though, and my spray in the game right now is a happy Pakimari. Anyway, they're in a claw machine there. Oops. Oh, that was faster than I intended. Fighters of the Storm. Oh, come on. This camera is so twitchy. This is a reference to Heroes of the Storm, of course, which is another Blizzard game, a MOBA. And it's got Tyrael versus Space Marine. Specifically Tychus, it looks like. It says on the upper left there. And Tyrael is obviously from Diablo. Archangel. A whole bunch more hilarious stuff here. We won't have time to look at all of it, but I just love the detail that goes into these things. I mean, this is just a spawn area. There's really no gameplay reason for any of this stuff to exist. And then up here is an advertisement for Diva live in Hanamura. And 100% Doki Doki. Diva surprising a live appearance by her. Anyway, all kinds of great stuff in here. Let's move on, shall we? Or else we'll never see the real meat of the map. So you begin in this arcade, and the attacking team pushes out of this building. And you can see it is a little bit Christmassy in here. We do have some Christmas lights. There's some candy canes on the ground there. But the attacking team pushes out of this spawn through one of a couple of exits out into the merciful silence of the Hanamura streets, which, as you can see, are quite lovely, with snow gently falling and drifting up against the buildings. Looks like a ramen shop right here. Some kind of repair robot over here, painting a sign, maybe. I don't read Japanese, but maybe some of you can. Maybe you can let me know what that says. Let's come through this way. So, as with King's Row, there's this sort of initially open area that we just passed through with a few different routes, sort of access points, and then there's a choke point. In this case, the choke point is right here. The gates to this shrine or temple. And a lot of violence is perpetrated here. The defending team trying desperately to hold back the attacking team. And in good game design fashion, there are alternative routes. Right here, the characters that can either scale the walls like a Hanzo or Genji, or that can get up into the air like a Pharah or a Diva, or grapple like a Widowmaker. They can all make use of this alternate entrance. Or if you're a Pharah, you can even come up over the top of this gate and get in that way. I like this symbol here. This is representative of the two dragons, which are part of the mythology of this game fiction, but they're represented in game by the Shimada brothers, Hanzo and Genji, who are sort of embodiments of these spiritual dragons, and their ultimate attacks summon forth the spirit of the dragon. And I think this is sort of supposed to be like a temple dedicated to them, I guess, or their dragon spirits. I wonder what this sign says. Again, if any of you can read it, maybe leave a comment. I'd like to know. So, let's head on into the temple here. So this is the temple courtyard, and the defending team usually sets up in here to try and repel the initial attack, and the attacking team is trying to capture the temple. So where that big bell is the capture point. And in its winter garb here, this map has some really nice little details. I like this little snowman peeking his head out from around this rock, which is kind of cute. And you can see the gravel has been raked in sort of lines and concentric circles in a Zen garden type pattern, but the snow is sort of obscuring it a little bit. there's a few different ways to move in on this point. One of them is over here. You can head on up these stairs, and you can get the drop on the defenders from up here. Sort of potentially flank them. And you know, I just noticed actually. That's funny. Doing this in a slow, methodical fashion gives me a chance to really examine these maps. I just noticed that this is an open air section of the map, and I wonder if a character like a pharaoh with a jump pack could in fact jump over from over there and into this space. I bet you it's doable. I don't know, but I'm gonna try that next time, because that would be really neat. Anyhow, let's carry on through. So the other option is to go to the left, which is where you would typically go if you use this little side entrance. And there's this pretty little view back here. We can look out across the city skyline. There's like bullet trains in the distance there, going along the track periodically. There goes one. These beautiful cherry blossom trees, which are apparently flowering even in the dead of winter. And the beautiful Mount Fuji in the distance. And then you can sort of attack from this angle here, which brings you into this temple, which again has the two dragons, the Shimada brothers, spirits, dragon spirits on the bell. And so there's usually some bitter fighting that takes place here. And if the attacking team manages to capture this point, then they will have to push further into the temple. This looks like it might be a major choke point, but it's usually not so much, because once the attacking team takes the first point, the defending team typically falls back quite rapidly to defend the main temple, which is this one here, which looks lovely at any time of year, but in the winter especially, it's just beautiful with the falling snow. And once again, these lovely cherry blossoms. And so there are many angles of attack on this temple, but there are also many ways to defend it. It is actually remarkably defensible. I love these little floating lantern things. It's just such a cool fusion of traditional and sort of futuristic aesthetic that this game has. So this is, of course, a major point where a lot of fighting takes place, the main entrance to the temple. You can see there's a beautiful mural on the wall, showing again the two dragons. I'm sure this says something, but I don't know what. And I like the Christmas lights. They're just a funny kind of contrast to the traditional Japanese everything, but they're kind of cheery. I like it. So, this is where the defenders make their last stand, and there are many ways to access this space, but the defenders' spawn point is right back in here. We might as well go take a look. Right here. It's also decked out in some cheerful holiday lights. Look at all these gorgeous lanterns. just a nice little aesthetic detail, as is this bamboo, these little bamboo planters. I noticed a couple of those back in the arcade as well. These very pretty urns as well. Okay. So the defenders are spawning right there, so we can easily rush out here to repel attacks. And the capture point is this whole space here. Anywhere on this floor is fair game, really, for the attackers. And so they can come in up here, obviously. But more popular are a couple of flanking options. There is this one over here, which is again great for classes that can bridge that gap, get into this space. They can easily attack from this side. And there's a sort of a health pack right in here, which helps support the push if you're getting damaged while pushing. And there's this whole sort of ramparts area here, although it's a dangerous place to attack from because more often than not there's a Torbjorn with a turret set up back there, or a bastion, even worse potentially, that just tears through anybody who shows their face along this section. And so one of the better routes for attack is on the right hand side here, which lets you, here we'll back up for a moment. So you can come in from this exterior area here. That's kind of a neat statue. It's like a koi, like a fish. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, you can come up from here and up these stairs, and then you've got this somewhat protected approach, which you can sort of attack from. You shoot down into that area, or alternatively, if you're a tankier character, you can, or if you've got your ult ready to do some damage, you can come down here, and you've got a clear shot at whatever might be set up back here, like the bastions and the Torbjorn turrets and all that stuff. So that is the quick version of this space. There's also this area up here which I always forget about, but it is accessible to your Widowmakers, your Pharahs. I've seen snipers up here defending quite effectively. And once again, Blizzard's environmental design is just top-notch. These spaces just, they kind of beg to be looked at, really. Look at these beautiful swords here on this altar. It's like a katana, I guess. I guess it's a katana and it's scabbard. I guess it's supposed to be Genji's blade, maybe, because he uses a katana. I don't know, really. Another beautiful cityscape with drifting snow. These frosty planks here. Just beautiful. These levels are so beautifully designed and so lovely to look at. It really makes you wish that there was more to this game than just a competitive shooter. And as a matter of fact, there was originally more to this game. My understanding is that Overwatch began life as an MMO called Project Titan, which was long in development at Blizzard, and ultimately they decided it just wasn't working out, and they shut down Project Titan and took the assets and what they had done and they converted it into Overwatch, which has worked out incredibly well for them because they got to make use of those assets best game of 2016. And I'm sure they've made a boatload of money off of it. But you can see just so much work and time and care has been put into every aspect of this game. It just makes you want to know more. It makes you wish there was an RPG where you could have a really story-driven and exploration-driven look at this fiction that they've built, this universe. The characters add to that because they are so well realized and fully fleshed out, well rounded, and well designed. They're compelling characters. Anyway, that's all a bit rambly, but I think I'm going to end this here because we've looked at what we wanted to look at, and this is a beautiful spot to end our wander. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the wintertime Hanamura map in Overwatch. And if these videos, these Overwatch map wanders, are received well, then I will happily do more of them on just the regular maps over the course of the year. So please do let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Feel free to leave a comment, give the video a like, or share it on Twitter or Facebook, or those sorts of things. So, thanks again very much for watching, and I look forward to having you back here again next time.